Today we're talking with Adam Guzzon, jeweler, stone setter, and artist. Let's get to work. Well, welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
We're going to start off by having you do a quick introduction to yourself. Tell us who you are and what you're going to be working on.
Hi. My name's Adam Guzzon, and I am a bench jeweler, stone setter, hand engraver. Not always in that order. Today I'm working on a mounting with some bar set tapered baguettes and a 6-prong round head. I've got the baguettes already set, and I'm just about to start on the center stone.
So predominantly you do a lot of bridal jewelry, right?
Almost,
What's your forte?
Almost exclusively bridal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I have my hands in high fashion as well, but nearly everything I make has a bridal focus to it.
Mm-hmm. What drew you to that?
Did
you always know you wanted to do?
I very clearly remember saying one day I'll be making engagement rings.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How old were you? Was this like a young age or?
No, this wasn't a childhood dream of mine.
You're like, oh, look at that pretty ring.
No, but you know, I started becoming educated and polishing skills and getting to the point where I knew that that's the level I would be working at one point, not just making artistic jewelry for my mind, but making truly high-end pieces that people would be wearing on their left hands. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So give a peek of the jewelry you used to do, how you started off in the industry.
Oh gosh, I mean, I once strung a string of beads around the length of my entire bedroom. But I started wire wrapping crystals and essentially realized that I couldn't make a career out of that, and got very formal education driven, and started going to school to be able to do this stuff.
Yeah, so you've been here a few times. You've also gone and studied with Alexander. Who would you say had the most influence, not like us versus Alexander, but who are some of your instructors that have had heavy influences on you?
I would say, so that goes back even pre-GRS days. I went to school at GIA. I'm a graduate jeweler and a graduate gemologist from GIA. And my instructors in my graduate jeweler program were legendary. And so that was very much my intro to bench jewelry and goldsmithing and whatnot. And still to this day, every time I'm sizing a ring, I hear Jerry's voice in my head as I'm watching the solder flow. And there's like a couple
Can you imitate him for me, please?
Yeah, sure. All right, guys, well, right about that point, you're gonna wanna flip the ring and heat it from the other side so as to draw the solder the other direction.
Okay. We're gonna have to send this
How was
to Jerry.
that? Jerry, I hope Jerry approves. And then, yeah, coming to GRS, I've studied with Todd, Rex, and Sandy, and Sam, and all three of them just had massive impact on both my skill levels as well as the direction that my career took. You know, because there's so much that I was able to absorb in the classroom that wasn't just focused under the scope, so to speak.
Yeah.
Focused under the scope. I like that. Yeah, they instilled a lot of drive and passion and business knowledge and all sorts of things, but having the opportunity to study with Alexander is absolutely like the pinnacle of my education.
Yeah.
that was a life-changing experience.
Walk us through your experience with Alexander. Because it's not just a 1-week course or a weekend class.
No, yeah, it's a 3-month program, and the first week of the course is a test to make sure that you can take the course.
Oh.
And you know, at this point, you've picked up your entire life or paused your entire life and have moved to Antwerp, and the thought of maybe not continuing the course after that first test week is pretty intimidating. But it was incredible, incredibly intense. Definitely one of the more rigid educational experiences I've had, because it's all business. You know, you're there to learn like the top level skills in the world, and I had a ton of fun there and really great times, but it wasn't like a fun end games situation, which I think is actually perfect, because that's how you shape, you know, top-notch stone setters.
Right.
Is treating it very systematically, very serious. You know, it's a high level skill that you're learning over there.
So, what is your favorite piece that you've created that you can think of off the top of your head? Is there anything in particular that stands out to you?
I just finished a piece a couple weeks ago that was incredible, and it was for about a 5-carat antique cushion cut diamond. I work primarily with antique stones these days, and yeah, it was really an incredible opportunity to work and set this stone.
Is that intimidating, working with antique stones? Like, you know, these family heirlooms that you're like, oh, don't break it.
It can be, sometimes more so than not. And I think with experience and just familiarity with the work, it's a lot less intimidating. But still, there's still plenty of times where I'm kind of like checking myself, like, okay, like, here we're doing this. But yeah, this was a sort of a not quite Victorian inspired design, but it was a 6-prong head for a cushion cut stone with bead set, like fillet pave shoulders from stones were like 0.7 millimeters to 1.1, so they're pretty tight and tiny, with a really nice milligrain frame. And then I did all sorts of antique style bright cutting on the shank and the gallery and stuff. It was really pretty and really fun to make. So yeah, I think that's probably like a highlight piece for me recently.
What was the most intimidating piece, or the piece that you really kind of drug your feet on to finish?
That's intimidating. I set a 5-carat marquise last year, and at the time that was the biggest diamond I had set, and it was in V-prongs. And I mean, dealing with marquise it's you know, I'm practiced at it now and I can approach it with confidence, but I had never set a 5-carat before, let alone a 5-carat marquise, and it was a really wonky cut. So extremely tedious seat cutting and pretty intense hammering those prongs over. I wouldn't say I dragged my feet on that one, but because of both who the client was, as well as just some general situational things around the whole job, it was a feat to accomplish, if you will.
Did you feel really good after you were done with it?
Oh yeah, and I actually saw photos of it the other day. I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
You did that.
So I know you've been really busy with work, and it's awesome that your employer let you come visit with us, but what do you enjoy doing outside of shop time?
I have two huge passions in my life. I love to ride bikes. I'm an avid cyclist. I ride track bikes, single speed fixed gears, and I ride road bikes. So I just love riding my bike. I usually will wake up early and ride before work, get like 20 miles in before work. I commute to work daily on a bike. Bikes are a huge part of my life.
How far do you bike to your work each day?
My commute's only 6 miles one way.
Oh, that's not bad.
So yeah, if I can get up and do like 20 to 30 before work and then have like 12 total in my commute, that's a good day. I try to ride minimum 100 miles a week. Like a great training week, I'm at like 200 miles. Yeah.
Good for you.
It's the good stuff. And then I'm incredibly passionate about music. Music and arts, but music lately has played a huge role in my life. I'm a DJ. I play deep and melodic and progressive house music, which has been really great. Recently relocating to San Francisco, the house music scene there is like on fire. So yeah, I started playing gigs in Oakland. And I played my first club set in San Francisco a few weeks ago.
And
I did DJ out at Burning Man over the summer. I was invited to DJ for a theme camp out there, which was super cool. My first year at the Burn, and yeah, got to play music on Playa. It was amazing.
And you haven't been doing that very long, right?
No, I've only been DJing since April. But I picked up the gear and I poured everything I had into learning. And I mean everything. And so I was able to progress at a pretty rapid rate. And I had been like mixing music in my head for many, many years before I even knew what I was doing. And so in many ways, it was just a matter of learning the equipment. And I did that, and yeah, I brought my equipment here for this week and was DJing in my hotel room all week. So yeah, bikes and music are my jam.
Three big passions. Do you ever feel like the burnout is real, or how do you decompress from everything? Or is that how you decompress? It's
kind of how I decompress. The burnout factor for me comes most when mixing the concept of my work also being a passion. So, working 40 plus hours a week for someone, and then finding the time or the desire even to do stuff for myself from my own art and passion. I've always had a struggle with that. And I still don't have the answer on that one. But typically jewelry, cycling, and music all kind of scratch each other's backs. Yeah, they flow really well together, yes.
So you've done a little bit of burr work. Where are you at in the process on this ring right now? Can you kind of explain what you're working on?
Yeah, certainly. So I started out by scribing my seat location down the prong using dividers, and have started cutting those seats. And when burring prongs, you never burr to full depth, and I mean depth and height. And so you periodically check the stone to see where you're at with that, and start identifying inconsistencies and areas that you might need to go deeper, or areas in which you've gone too far. And you can kind of see as I rock the stone back and forth there, that means that these 2 prongs are high points and everything else is lower. So what I need to do now is cut the seats on these 2 prongs slightly lower so that the stone comes in contact with the other 4 prongs. And so, at this point, I'm just evaluating that and looking at gaps like that right there, gaps like that right there. You can see here for the most part the stone is in full contact. Once I cut it a little bit deeper, it will be in full contact. And that's just ensuring a perfectly level stone. You can see that's not level. And the right way to set a stone is level. So definitely have to put a lot of thought and measure towards that, I suppose.
What are some goals that you have within your own work, like something that you really have like crystal clear in your head, you want to do this someday, or just skills that you want to build up to? Is there anything?
Yeah, my 2 main goals that I currently have with jewelry are to win an AGTA Spectrum Award and to have a piece on permanent display in the GIA collection in Carlsbad.
Cool.
So that's where I went to school. That's where I'm from. I grew up in the area. I've got a good friend that has a piece, on permanent display there, and I just remember thinking like, oh yeah, I want that. I want to accomplish that. So it'd be a really cool, like full circle thing to be able to do that. So yeah.
Do you have any ideas on what kind of a piece you want to create for that?
I don't, but I primarily design in platinum and diamonds. So heavy pave and stone setting influence, likely platinum. I don't know exactly what it will be. My design sense has certainly shifted a little bit since working in the antique sector of things. I've always loved Art Deco. And now I really love Art Deco. So there's likely going to be some influence there. And I've kind of been working off and on for a couple of years on my own concept of deco design.
Cool.
So yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what you produce and come up with along those lines, Adam. It's going to be beautiful, I'm sure.
Thanks, Molly.
Thank you for sitting down and taking the time to visit with us.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We'll be seeing you here again soon.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
It is that time.